Hi, friends. Go to a Dani Johnson First Steps to Success weekend seminar. Just go. I'm actually recording this from one of her weekend seminars in my hotel room, another hotel room video blog. You should go because if you feel like your life is stuck personally or professionally and you need to move it to that next level, or maybe you're just broke and you have all those stresses that come with the territory of being broke, or you're out of shape, or you're a combination of such things, or who knows what it is. You got to make the investment in yourself and go. This is an investment in yourself, and yourself, you actually have complete control over the value of yourself. So if you're not doing very well, say in today's economy, which isn't very kind on people, it's not the economy. It's the economy. You don't have control over the value of the dollar. You don't have control over the value of the marketplace or the job place. You don't have control over those things. You have 100% absolute complete control over the value of yourself in relationship to the marketplace, to the job you're at, to the whatever that you're struggling with. You have complete control over the value of yourself in your community, to your family, to your kids, to your spouse. You have complete control over the value of yourself in relationship to whatever. So Dani Johnson, in my opinion, a very well-founded opinion, is an extremely wise investment you can make in yourself to increase the value in yourself that you have complete control over, so that you can actually start to get the things that you want, or at least be on the path in that forward motion to getting those things. Because point blank, you're succeeding only when you're moving forward to whatever it is that you want. You're failing if you're not. So if you're stuck, you're currently in failing mode. So get out of failing mode. There's endless resources for investing in yourself, personal growth and development, to increase the value in yourself to be able to get what you want. They're endless. And I've gone through a lot of personal development courses, and I've heard a lot of people speak, and I've read a lot of books, and there's a lot of great stuff out there. There really is, and I've certainly got my favorites out there. And I've certainly got my favorites, a big reason why my favorites are my favorites. Not only do they help me, and I've got real tangible results in my own life, but I see it in the lives of many other people, including some people who are so far gone, they're completely destitute, homeless, no place to live or go, not a dollar to their name, and still, they make that investment in themselves. They learn how to prosper with whatever they have now. For some people, that starting point is destitute, but they learn how to prosper there, and they become ruler of much later. That's a beautiful philosophy that not enough people subscribe to. Most people subscribe to a totally different philosophy. I can't get started. I can't even begin to move forward to what I want because I'm in this place. And so they're not making any progress, and that's their philosophy. Change that to, okay, this is where I'm at. I'm going to get into it because I respect where I'm at, and I'm going to learn how to prosper with what I have now, because there's no other way to get ahead and move forward and move closer to the things that I want. Can you imagine which mindset is actually going to move the person forward, and which mindset is going to keep the person behind, so that they just fall deeper and deeper into this hole of void of nothingness year after year? I mean, one person's going to rot to death and the other one's going to grow. The person that rots to death is the person that does not learn how to prosper with what they have now so they can have more later. And the person that grows, obviously, is the person who's going to take on that new philosophy of, let's learn how to prosper with what I have now. And the best way to do that is to increase the value in yourself, because you have 100% control in the value of yourself. You have no control over the value of the dollar, or the value of the marketplace, or the value of whatever that's going on outside of you. It's you. So to get back on point with Dani Johnson, that investment in yourself you can make by going to a Dani Johnson seminar, a weekend-long seminar. It's the stories. Facts and statistics don't really move me nearly as much as stories do, because stories are human. They're real. It's real people going from sometimes completely dire scenarios to these incredibly inspiring victories over those incredibly dire scenarios. Some people actually go from destitute to riches of all kinds, not just money, within a couple years. How did they do that? It's not like they got lucky. They increased the value of themselves, that real estate that's between their two ears, that real estate that they have complete control over the value of. That was the change. It wasn't the economy. It's not like the economy was timed right, especially right now in a recession or just next to a recession. It's not like there's any good timing in that. It's not like the homeless person is in any kind of an arena where it's the right time and the right this and that and the market conditions are perfect for them. No. The homeless person doesn't go from homeless to riches because of any kind of good timing or luck. It's because they change their belief system. They change what they believe in. They start learning how to prosper with what they have now so they can become ruler of much later on for whatever that they want. So, Dani Johnson, I saw people and met people that were thousands of dollars in debt when they got started, some as much as over $100,000 in debt. There's one person in particular I know of who was $500,000 in debt. And these people, some of them are eating only one meal a day, $100,000 plus in debt. They can't afford to eat more than once a day. And they've trimmed out all the fat they possibly could from their expenses and so on and so forth. And what do? They spend, this is incredible, guys. That's a pretty dire set of circumstances, right? What do? They invest, is a better word, over $1,000 between the flight ticket, the hotel stay, food expenses, the ticket to even go to the Dani Johnson seminar. And what happens? They make that incredible investment in themselves, $1,000 plus, in the midst of incredibly challenging, difficult times, and they get out of the mess. Some of these people have paid off over $100,000 in debt in less than 12 months. That's incredible. There was a relatively small group of people that I got to see and hear their stories who paid off more than $6 million in debt within 12 months. And they learned how to increase their income. So when you have a lowering debt and an increase of income, that's a double whammy that's positively in your favor instead of a double whammy that's against you. Just imagine when you have that double impact of positiveness, debt down, income up, that drastically, massively increases your overall net positive cash flow. And then what's that going to mean for you? That's what you have to think about, not the money, but what is that going to mean for you when money is no longer an object? You can finally afford your kids' college tuition. You can finally afford to hire home health care for your parents if they're still around so they don't have to die in a nursing home. You can finally afford your family that nice vacation you've always wanted to take them on a couple times a year. You can finally get rid of that embarrassing beater that you drive around for something that suits you better. You can finally pay off that unforeseen emergency expense that's inevitably going to happen from time to time without stressing out about it and ripping off a pound of flesh to pay for it. You can finally maybe alleviate a tough job situation where the employer simply just has to hold up a stack of papers 9 miles high and say, if you don't like it, there's plenty of people that would be desperate in this economy to take your place. So you let me know what you want to do. And the reasons go on and on, but you've really got to think about how that applies to you personally, what your reason is, how life would be different, what problems would that solve if you solved your income problems, your health problems, your personal problems, professional problems, all those sorts of things. Because if you don't take any action, you're screwed. I know on Facebook in particular, positive affirmations are all the rage, but if that's all you're doing, then all you're doing is setting yourself up to be massively disappointed in yourself, chipping away your self-esteem until at last you have none and you entirely give up. And spiritually, you're dead. Nothing kills the human spirit more effectively than subscribing to an illusion that positive affirmations by themselves are going to get you anything that you want. I don't think there's anything more human spirit killing than that. So you got to take action and make that investment in yourself. And I believe Dani Johnson, from all those successes, I mean, think about it. There's people that were over $100,000 in debt. You heard me talk about it just now, eating one meal a day because that's all they could afford. And they put over $1,000 worth of investment into themselves. And where did it lead them? It didn't lead them further in debt. Maybe in a snapshot in time it did, so they could pay for the investment. But over weeks, months, within 12 years, Some people paid off more than $100,000 worth of debt and increased their income and solved some other problems. They're eating more than once a day now, and they're eating better quality food, and their health has improved because of it. It's a domino effect over everything. People that are broke are, they tend to be broke in every aspect of their lives, spiritually, physically, mentally, health-wise, and so on and so forth, typically. And one pattern that rang out through all these people that did that, who were in such dire circumstances and made that investment in themselves, the common theme amongst all of them in varying words was, it would have been more expensive not to make that investment in themselves. It would have been more expensive. Did you hear me? Because I know that's the number one reason why most of you out there will not make an investment in yourself if it costs any kind of money. The number one reason is because it costs money. You won't do it. And then what happens year after year? You don't need to tell me what happens. You know what happens. You stay stuck or things get worse. So you've got to ask yourself, do you want to start making progress towards the things that you really want now or later? Or for many of you, sadly, never, and you take it with you to your grave. All that potential in your dreams, they die with you forever because you didn't act on them. How stupid is that? I think it's pretty dumb. So ask yourself that honest question. Do you ever want to give life to your potential, your own dreams? I hope the answer is yes. And if the answer is yes, do you want to get started on that now or later? Or do you want to take the more costly course, the path that's inevitably going to cost you so much more money, of procrastination? Or do you want to take the other path that's going to be less costly, of making that financial investment in yourself, getting the education that you need, and then applying it so you can totally change your situation? So what's it going to be, friends? Did I strike a nerve in you, hopefully? One reason why I am suggesting that you go to a Dani Johnson seminar and invest in yourself through that vehicle is because Dani she's very honest. She's one of the most authentic people I've ever seen before in my entire life. And she has this ability to not only very effectively communicate her message to you and really strike a nerve and move people to take action, to change their lives for their own reasons, she also has this ability to break a person down who needs to be broken down so that they can rebuild a brand new foundation, because that foundation from before is not one to build on because of a bad past or whatever has gone on. And that is a lot of people who have a messed up, unsolid, rocky foundation. You can't build on that. You can't build anything successful on it. So she has a gift at breaking people down who are swimming in teachable waters and then helping them build back up again, beginning with that solid core, that foundation. You got a good foundation, you can build on that. And it's much easier to be successful that way. And she does that very, very well. Dani Johnson is pretty cool in my book, and I can't wait to see what happens to me months down the road from now. And I can't wait to see what happens to all those people that I met who are first timers at Dani Johnson. I'm going to keep in touch and see what happens. I'm going to tell all those stories. And you can be one of those people that wants to wait. Oh, I'll see how you do, Tom, and these people that you're talking to. I'll wait and see how they do. That's fine. You can do that. The early adopters are going to get in now, and they're going to have success before you will. And if you're okay with that, I'm okay with that, because I honor you and I respect you and I'm totally accepting of you. But if you're going to wait, I just want you to know, if you want to wait and procrastinate and see how others do first before you get in it, even though it's not something that's on trial, there's already so many success stories. So if that's all you need, and just look up the success stories or talk to me. I met so many people, I'll tell you about the success stories, and then you know. But if you still have to wait and procrastinate, see how much better I do and other people and so on and so forth, you can be the laggard, but your results in your life are going to be laggard as well. So it goes back to that question: do you want to get out of your mess? Do you want to even begin to moving closer to getting what you want and getting out of the mess now? Or do you want to be a laggard and wait and do that later? Now, honestly, I hope that you choose now versus later, but whatever you choose, I honor it and respect it. I'm totally accepting of it. But as for me, I already started on this path, so obviously I'm an early adapter in that respect, because I started this path of personal growth and development, investing in myself, 4.5 years ago. I'm actually one of those people that put out money in an investment in myself when I didn't have any. I didn't even have an income. I had no job. I had no cash flow coming in to pay for that investment. But you know what? It would have been more costly if I didn't do it. I mean, the contrast, 4.5 years later, if I had not done that, the contrast just blows my mind. Actually, it scares me to death if I didn't take advantage of that opportunity and make that financial investment in myself, even when I had absolutely no money. In my mind, that was all the more reason why I had to do it, because I was sick of not having any money and not having a job or cash flow and all these other problems that stemmed from that. So I did it. And just to give you an idea of the contrast in my life, 4.5 years later, most likely my parents would be dead. I'd be homeless, nothing, no job, no home, and that's a pretty scary place, right? But 4.5 years later, because I made that financial investment in myself, my parents are alive. I mean, I've got doctor verification, so my parents are alive, and not only am I not homeless, but I have a home, and I've actually purchased a house 2 years ago, going on 2 years. So 2.5, which would be 2.5 years into this experience, I not only bought a house, but I did it in cash. There's nothing structured. There's no mortgage. I just bought it outright. So that's a pretty wide contrast between that and being homeless, don't you think? And how? Why? How? Well, the how is easy. I made that financial investment in myself. I want to impress that upon you over and over again, because that is the number one reason why people don't make progress in their lives. They don't want to spend money and make that financial investment in themselves to grow themselves personally, professionally, in whatever other way possible for your own reason. And that's sad. Some people go their whole lives and they die not ever doing that, and they take their dreams and their potential with them. And those dreams and potentials can never have life after you're dead. So you got to give those things life now while you're alive. You got to make those investments, your time and your money and whatever else it takes, whatever it takes. It's got to be now while you're living, so that all those things that you've ever dreamed about and all the potential you have, you can actually give life to. You're the only person that can give life to those things. And it has a profound effect over people around you, because when you get better, it's good for everybody. And if you really want to help other people and inspire them to go after what they want so that they can live in harmony and peace with themselves and get the things they want, then you got to be the example and go after the things that you want. If you're a parent, I'm not a parent, so I just want you to know that right off the bat. But I've heard so many parents talk about this, and I'm friends with parents that talk about this. They give their kids something to aspire to. And the truly sad thing about, parents mean well. I know you love your kids, but a lot of parents out there, they use their kids as a crutch to not go after their dreams anymore. And the kids know it. They know you use them as a crutch. And kids generally aspire to be like their parents most of the time. Most kids, most of the time, will aspire to be like their parents. So knowing that, if you're going to do something great with your life, go after your dreams and show your kids that hard work and making not an easy life, but a worthwhile life, and you're transparent with them. If you show them that, they're probably going to want to aspire to that and be successful. And if you show your kids how to use your own kids as a crutch to be mediocre and fall short on your promises and not do anything great with your life, then your kids are probably going to aspire to that too. So give them something better to aspire to. And that's a common theme that I hear between parents who are doing really well for themselves and got great relationships with their kids and so on. They give their kids something to aspire to. And they're very honest about the work that goes into it and paying the price in time, effort, money, all those things. And suddenly, the kids want to be like mom and dad, and they got these dreams, and they want to start paying the price too, right alongside with mom and pop. Now, isn't that a great way to raise a kid and build up a kid? It's a lot easier to build a child than it is to repair a completely broken adult. So keep that in mind, parents, the next time you use your kids as a crutch to not go after your dreams and get what you want, because they're going to aspire, more than likely they're going to aspire to that. So give them something better to aspire to. That's the message from parents out there who are doing very, very, very well. Alright, 20 minutes into this video, way longer than I wanted it to be, but I have a tendency to do that. I guess if it's any good, you made it this far, thank you. Hey, send me a private message, let me know that you watched this entire video. If I get more than one, I'll just be stoked. Everybody's tuning out after the first minute. When as soon as I say you gotta spend money on something and make an investment in yourself, click. Gee, I wonder where that person's gonna end up a year from now. So, adios. Send me that private message. Let me know you made it to the end. I would be tickled. Really. Bye.